Game one, day one, Splyce and Red Reserve, all the players and fans back in Europe. You'll be happy. You don't have to stay up too late to see this matchup, but we're kicking it off straight away. Hardpoint, Valkyrie, and of course, Revan joining me. We kind of discussed already these guys have played before, and before we dive too much into the game, what are you feeling about this series in a whole?
I feel like if Red Reserve come into this series, if they want to win this one, it can't be a long series. Typically, when we see these guys win and win often, it's a 3-0 or a 3-1. When the series go long and Red Reserve start losing maps, they start getting down on themselves. It's something I see from them time and time again. They have to keep their spirits high, and they can't mentally put themselves out of these games. So Splyce, I think as long as they can force a long series, I think they'll be feeling comfortable.
Okay, we're kicking things off in the ventilation room. Red Reserve taking control here. Joe working on a couple of kill streaks himself. That's number 4. Working towards, of course, that glide bomb. And maybe more here, but they're going to go for the rotation. So far, so good for Red Reserve. And interesting to see. Usually we do see Splyce and Red Reserve running that 4 SMG meta. It looks the case here as Joey's going to get the glide bomb.
Yeah, especially on a map like Valkyrie, right? This is so SMG heavy. You might see one assault rifle brought out from time to time, but if things aren't going away and you have to pick up the pace, look for that flex player or even that main AR just to switch over to that 4th SMG. But if you're new to watching Call of Duty, recently we changed up the score streaks and how much points it takes to earn them. You see the fighter pilot now takes 850 points to earn, and the glide bomb first, so artillery barrage coming in second for tier 2. So look for that to have an impact and keep an eye out for that in the later series too.
Most definitely, you're going to be seeing it here. Of course, Joe unlocking all 3 of them. Splyce is going to get pretty much the first points on the board, maybe the scrap points as well from the operations bunker. We're going to be going to the other side of the map, but already set up is going to be Zero taken down, though. Mad Cat and Tommy are going to combine here, and this is a couple of big kills here where Splyce can really turn it around, but so far so good for Red Reserve. The streaks, of course, on this map in particular, Evan, sometimes, they can only be used on certain hills.
Usually streaks, for me, it's all about denial. Either you're denying time with an artillery barrage or you're denying entrance onto one pathway of the map. Typically, they don't pick up too many kills. It's all about forcing the enemy team to fight from a different side of the map, force them to reposition. But now, as we're in the storage bunker, Hardpoint, Joe still has these streaks to work with, and that's something you want to see from Red Reserve. Joe, we've seen the type of impact this player could have on this map, and we give him sometimes some flack for his type of playstyle. He likes to lurk around and just be that nuisance SMG, shooting people in the side, shooting people in the back, just to be annoying. It frees up room for his teammates to get the job done on the head-on engagements, and if Joe's having a good game, it's going to be so annoying for the other team.
Well, Splyce do break through with 30 seconds still left to go on the storage bunker now, but Red Reserve not getting it up that easy. Zero, Joe, and Josh all combining for the kills, but Splyce, they're going to jump right back in it. Another wave of kills is needed. Zero starting to heat up now. A 3-kill streak for him as 15 seconds remain. You are going to see those players rotate, but just kind of glancing at things in the scoreboard, in fact, the Slayton side definitely heavily favoring Red Reserve in the early stages here.
Yeah, certainly a slow start for Splyce, and as we're about to make our way over to the office Hardpoint, take a look at the mini-map, Momo. Red Reserve, they have a great setup going into this one. Splyce, they're going to be fighting through the old Hardpoint as they exit out through storage towards loading. If they could pick up the kill onto Zero, they could get the spawns going in their favor. And take a look at the minimap. Once again, Splyce setting up a pinch inside the Hardpoint. They're trying to break on in, but the kill's still going in favor of Red Reserve. They're holding on strong inside this Hardpoint as they're building a 60-point lead and growing. Zero on a 5 spree, Josh on a 2 spree, Rated on a 3 spree. Everything's going in favor of Red Reserve right now.
So far, so good for Red Reserve. Splyce are going to have to answer back. The long range of Zero is going to find himself again. That second tier streak is just 1 kill away. He's an assist away from that fighter pilot. He'll be playing for this one, but right now the pressure is off. 20 seconds left on office, and he can just sit and wait. That's 2 sets of streak, Revan. This is not a good position, to say the least, for Splyce.
No, certainly not. I mean, look at the slang from Splyce. Bance is double negative. Tommy's 7-11. Jared 5-13. Simple enough. The SMGs are just not showing up for Splyce right now. And look, okay, match 1, game 1. Maybe it's a bit of a slow start, but we've seen what happens when you get a lot of momentum behind this Red Reserve squad. They could roll over anyone, and they've shown that they're capable of beating anyone here.
Yeah, and Red Reserve, very socially active, of course, kind of telling everyone they feel very well practiced for this event coming into it. They've had a couple of weeks here now to put the grind and the time in. Most certainly paying off in map number 1. Splyce, 100 points down. They're currently on the hard point, but the pinch is coming in. Joe, Zero, picking up kills, Rated to add to the mix, and it is a one-way street here. Red Reserve, they're taking Splyce to the cleaners.
Yeah, that's the 3rd play we've seen on Red Reserve to earn some score streaks in this game. And just adding on to your point that you just brought up briefly, we've talked about it so many times about this Red Reserve squad. The biggest barrier they face is usually themselves, right? Sometimes they just mentally put themselves out of the game, after a tough loss or a close loss, something like that. It just just tilts them out of the series. It's something you hate to see because as a competitor, you have to be mentally strong. So yeah, Red Reserve still in this game, obviously up by 100 points. They're feeling good. Let's see if they can keep this momentum rolling. Right now, just taking a look at the score. Rated's doing a great job first team, 15-7. Plus, he's got a minute 34 inside the hard point.
Mr. Do-It-All right now, 100-point lead for Red Reserve. And you know what? We're going to start again. We're going back to that ventilation room. And this is where you try and think, you know, maybe Splyce can get in. But Red Reserve, they kick it off with more score streaks raining down. That kill feed is red all day long. And they're raining in these points. They're having a lot of fun on that main stage straight away. And this is completely different to, of course, CWL Birmingham, where these guys faced off on the Friday, game 1. Splyce 3-0 here, Red Reserve. They're coming out. They're wanting to prove a point, Revan.
And speaking about Birmingham, remember watching Splyce play this map at that event? Like 2 times at least, they jumped out to a 100-0 point lead. So obviously struggling here. Not the case typically with Splyce. And Red Reserve, you know, just thinking ahead in the series with Texas S&D coming up next. This is a great opportunity for them to build a lead early on the series, which is their key to victory here. Still with that comfortable 100-point lead. Ventilation room is about to come to an end. We're moving to the top side of the map over towards the operations bunker. Right now, it's Splyce with early control, but it's Red Reserve hot on the trail. They still have streaks to use as well.
Like you said, that 100-point lead is actually getting worse here for Splyce, with Red Reserve looking to break 200 very shortly. Jerd, though, with a double. He's going to find his 15th kill of the game. He's trying to find his way back into it, but a very slow and poor start here for each and every individual. You look at Vance as well, 8 and 22. It's just not good enough at this level for them. Joe and Zero trying to put this game to bed. Jerd from the inside, alongside Tommy, trying to fend them off. That 100-point lead is now starting to go into double digits. Streaks earned, though. Splyce, can they do it?
So Jerd's starting to earn some streaks, yes. Is it going to be enough to surmount this 100-point deficit that they face? Probably not, but it's something that could certainly kickstart some offense for this Splyce squad. And, you know, talking a bit more about Vance, this guy's straight up the X factor for this Splyce lineup. We saw when he was having an impact on games back at Birmingham, Splyce were cruising through each and every match. So if he's able to step up later on this series, look for Splyce to start to turn things around.
Yeah, I mean, Vance was very vocal. He was saying every single, you know, map 1 hardpoint.
Best event since what?
I'm dropping 40, he was saying, but to be honest, I can't remember the last time he played that good. The 100 points has become 70, but Red Reserve, they've rotated early. They've given up that, and they're looking to end it here potentially on the next couple of hills. Madcap trying to break in. Semtex isn't going to be enough, as Rated is going to shut him down, but now 200 has been broken. Big kills coming in. Joe takes control alongside teammate as Josh finishes one off, and this is looking fantastic for Red Reserve.
No, this is what happens when you control the loading side of the map for this storage bunker hardpoint. You force Splyce to spawn out towards like the top of the smoke side, and it's so hard to just rotate back in and take control of the hardpoint. I feel like both times we've seen storage bunker, Red Reserve have gotten like at least 100 points off of it. So this has been one where Splyce has certainly struggled, but solid setups from Red Reserve as we're starting to move towards the end of the game. Red Reserve only need 25 more points to close this one out. Of course, they still have score streaks left to use. We're about to make our move over towards the next upcoming hardpoint towards the office.
Yeah, and you look across the board, you've got Joe sitting +4, Rated having a phenomenal game there at a +8, and Zero as well, 25 and 13. He's got a minute over on the hill, but Rated 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Fantastic stuff from the Welshman himself, and 13 points away from closing this one out. Office is in control of Splyce right now, but Red Reserve maybe looking to try and still break in. There's 50 seconds left in the office.
You know, up until Splyce ticked over the 140-point mark, Rated had more time in the hardpoint by himself than the entire Splyce team combined. So, as you were saying earlier, Mr. Do-It-All for Rated, but Splyce, they're not giving up without a fight. Even though they need 100 more points to win, and Red Reserve only need 13, they're fighting until the very end, and it's something Splyce had to do, right? Because they had that slow start, they dug themselves in a hole early on. They got to find a way to get their shot warmed up and find their footing here on game 1.
Well, that should be it, as we are going to see things close at the office, and we're going to see Red Reserve. They pretty much destroyed Splyce map 1 there, and you've got to look at the stats Rated there, the objective time as well as the presence of the SMG. Zero at nearly a 2.0 KD. Fantastic stuff. Splyce, though, slow start to Friday.
Yeah, an impressive map 1 for Red Reserve, and really you give credit to Joe and his early game heroics, right? Because of the style that he plays and brings to the table, he just lurks around, likes to flank and shoot enemy teams in the back, and then once Splyce start to focus on him, well, that opens up room for the other Red Reserve players to do whatever they want on the map. And of course, it always helps when you have, you know, so many streaks to work with, just making things more comfortable on the map. So it's a strong game 1 for Red Reserve. Texas Search and Destroy will be coming up next.
Now, you know, you brought up very importantly that Splyce, they kind of jumped out into the leads of like 100-0, 90-0 on Valkyrie. and it just wasn't able to do that. I'm just looking at Red Reserve. What was the main thing that they could really bring to kind of nullify that, to stop that? Was it just sheer slave power from everyone?
Well, yeah, it helps when you just outshoot your opponents and you just put them in essentially a permanent kill cam. It's just Splyce. they were spawning out on the map. Red Reserve, I talked about it when we were at that storage bunker hardpoint. They had a great setup. They had the spawns in their control, and not only that, they were getting the kills inside the hardpoint to back it up. So for Splyce, it really feels like it's just a slow start to the tournament. It's map 1, series 1. I'll give them a break there, but now that excuse is no longer on the table. You had a couple of engagements. Your shot should be warmed up. Going to this Texas Search and Destroy, you got to find a way to take it away from Red Reserve, because this is without a doubt their best Search and Destroy map.
I think as well, I think Chance rightly pointed out as well, technically it's Splyce's, but at the stage where Red Reserve are right now, I was thinking, why is Zero shooting so good? You've been following social media, he's wearing that lucky jacket, of course. He's feeling himself on the main stage, and he'll be feeling himself after that performance. Absolutely lights out. But yes, Texas Search and Destroy will be coming up next. I'll be looking for the likes of Jerd and Tommy maybe pulling out that sniper and changing things up a little bit. But what do you expect going into this? Are you expecting kind of just a very standard kind of clinical performance here, methodical, or any kind of different strategies?
Yeah, I feel like whenever you're approaching USS Texas, it's all about the methodical approach. Use those smoke grenades, bait out the lethal grenades from your opponents, count them, and then get the bomb plant after. And for both teams, without a doubt, the matchup for me is Jerd versus Zero. The main snipers on USS Texas for both respective squads, and you want to plant the bomb for them. So look for them to have, you know, a big impact later in the rounds as they're trying to pick up the diffusers.
Okay, we'll be jumping into it very, very shortly. You heard Revan, Jerd versus Zero, the battle of the snipers. Splyce, the only winning record in Search and Destroy is on USS Texas, but it's a good one. 8-4, very, very strong record. We obviously, you know, have individual stats, so keep your eyes out on the lower thirds there, you guys at home. But again, we've already outlined that this is already a fantastic map for Red Reserve. I'm actually really happy that we see it and not at a Game 5. These guys are just playing the best map straight away. It's brutal.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And this is something we talk about often when it comes down to the veto system. Do you want to play to your strengths? Do you want to play to the opponent's strengths and try to veto out their strong maps? But both teams choosing to play on a map that they're both comfortable on. And here we go, round number 1. We're looking through the point of view of Jerd. He's got that sniper rifle in his hands. Let's see if he can find some early picks.
Well, this seems a very aggressive defense here coming in from Splyce, maybe looking to catch Red Reserve off guard. But Red, looks like they've opted for the B-bomb site here in the hands of Radiant. You can see that bomb going down, and Josh, he's found the feed of Tommy, but Tommy finds the face of Josh there, and he's going to take it right off 3v4. Red Reserve in a bit of a pickle.
Yeah, especially because they get that bomb down over at B, and you can clearly see that Zero setup to win the round for them. Because Splyce pushed right through that A bomb site down low at the overpass, Zero now doesn't feel comfortable at all. In fact, he falls to bans. Now it's a 4v2 situation for Splyce. Joe gets spotted out. He can't find a kill, turns around. It's all up to Rated, a 1v4 for him, but there's not a lot of time left on this bomb. If he can find a couple of more kills, maybe there's a chance, Momo, but just too many bodies being thrown at him. It's Splyce coming out strong in their first defensive round. They take round number 1.
Round number 1 goes in favor of Splyce. I think that's what they needed after that kind of loss of the hard point in the fashion that they did. A round like that really does kind of just give them that bit of a boost, a bit of confidence here. And of course, that first blood also very important. We'll be tracking that all game long as well. I was interested though, just kind of rewinding to the very start of that round, we saw Jerd and the Splyce crew kind of be very aggressive on the defense.
What I think that happened because of that, like, I think it was Red Reserve who threw that smoke over towards the A-bomb side, so they're probably think, okay, Splyce are probably play a bit more reserved towards their side of spawn because we're showing some pressure, we're showing some aggression, but it was all a bluff, and Splyce called that bluff, and they wind up winning the round from it. But we're in round number 2. Splyce now find themselves on the offensive side of things. We have Tommy with a sniper rifle in his hands, and he's getting a bit aggressive here, Momo.
And the one thing I will say as well, when you're in that kind of top tier of the region, like Red Reserve and Splyce, they're a little bit of a step ahead of any other player. You're going to know the strategy of that fellow team so well. You've played them, you've watched them, you'll have supported them. You know, when these guys are watching each other in the pro lounge at the Pro League, these guys are rooting for each other, representing Europe, of course. However, first blood has been drawn, this time to Red Reserve. And straight to Joe. Hit marker, unfortunately, for Jerd, but Revan, you're smiling. That's the battle we want to see. Jerd versus Zero.
Yeah, of course. And look, sometimes it happens. You get first shot. Sometimes you just get that hit marker. It's the way the cookie crumbles. But I didn't like that position Tommy was playing with the sniper rifle early in the round. You know, playing under that A-bomb site, you just don't have a lot of options if you want to retreat. If you get caught out of position, you're dead. And it was first blood going to Red Reserve. They're feeling mighty comfortable in this round. There's only 15 seconds left in the round, and Splyce have no control over any of the bomb sites. This should be a defensive round win for Red Reserve.
Or 10 seconds here. The bomb is not going anywhere. Jerd last alive, maybe finding one. He's going to beat him down on the back of the head with 3 seconds left. Finds one. It's now a 2v1, but that's all it's going to be. And actually, an important kill for Red Reserve just to take Jerd off that kill streak. And Red Reserve will find themselves another round. Smiles all around in the Red Reserve camp. And sometimes I think that's the big thing about Red Reserve as a whole squad is they work off of this vibe. You know, they're very kind of down on themselves. It's always, you know, if they come off a loss, it's always, we threw that away. We beat ourselves. And, you know, I think it's the opposite when they're winning. We've seen what they can do in those loser brackets, but it's pool play. It's day one.
Well, look, these guys have so much confidence in not only themselves, but also their team. Every time you talk to the guys on Red Reserve, they're like, oh, you know, we're going to win this event. You know, we're the best team here. And this is finally our chance to prove ourselves. And, you know, they've shown great performances. They've shown poor performances. Not a lot in between, but here we go. Round number 3 about to kick off. You got Jerd with the sniper rifle looking over that B bomb site as Rated's going for a quick plant. This is a great call from Red Reserve here.
And this was the exact same strategy. Red
Did
Reserve
he not
went
go
to the
through
B
with
bomb.
it? Okay.
It looks like he's backed off. I'm thinking it might have been the player close up under the ship, but he's going for it again here. Jerd isn't going to be able to stop anything go down, but now with that bomb down, all 8 players still on the battlefield. Who's going to kick it off? Zero with the sniper. Tommy answers back here, so now a 3v3. Interesting to see Zero's position in here, because he's in the perfect place now to defend this bomb, but he could be pressured by 2. Jerd, oh my goodness, you saw the bullet.
Well, yeah, Zero's just peeking for information. Is anybody defusing the bomb? No. Let me back up, play my life, stay up. Now he's going to push on forward, does get a glimpse onto Tommy. He's going to back on up. You got Joe with the crossfire here set up, puts down some shots, but they don't have a lot of information over near the bomb. Fortunately, no one from Splyce is defusing right now, and Josh is going to get that information right now as he picks up the kill on the Jerd. That's going to be round done and dusted. Red Reserve winning 2 in a row. And for me, Momo, the big difference there was what Splyce wound up changing. On the defensive side, in round number 1, what they decide to do, they pushed right through that bottom of the A bomb site and tried to fight for position over towards the Red Reserve, the offensive side of the map. This time around, Splyce played a bit more reserved, and Red Reserve had some presence over towards the A bomb side of the map. So if Splyce even wanted to pull out that aggression, they couldn't. That allowed Zero to be a bit more comfortable near the back side of the map, play that post-plant positioning, and Red Reserve wind up winning the round out from there. Maybe
getting ahead of myself here a little bit, but Splyce, of course, came out with a hot 3-0 at Birmingham. Maybe Red Reserve looking to do the same thing. It'd be a point to prove. And looking at those streaks here for Joe, he's uncontested at the bottom of the ship. He's 4-1. He started so strong in the hard point. Joe, one of those players that is just so infuriating to play against. He's always behind enemy lines, and here he is, finds one. He's going to dip away. He's only 1 shot away from being taken out himself, so luckily he stays alive. Josh is going to find another. Jerd takes him down with a pistol, but Jerd, weak, will be eliminated by none other than Joe, the 6-kill streak. Can he find himself a 7? He's Bance left alive. Of course, the round was definitely favoring Red Reserve here, Revan. But I'm keeping my eyes out for Joe in that streak. But let's stay on board with Bance and see what he can do in the 45 seconds he's got.
Yeah, you always want to watch the guy going for the clutch. You know, you never know what could happen. You know, every player that we have here is capable of pulling off some memorable moments. But, of course, some things that are working against Bance. Armored Energetic. He's got a loud class on, so he's got a crouch if he wants to make any significant movement on the map. Does have the bomb in hand. Not a lot of time to work with. 25 seconds remaining on Red Reserve. They're playing this perfectly. They're just hanging back. If you want to play at the bomb Bance, go ahead. Because we have the man advantage. We'll wind up flooding you out, and then we'll let Joe get the defuse, and he'll get some streaks off it.
That seems to be the plan. It's not going to come out that way as believe the snipe comes in. That'll be Zero hanging back the back of the ship there. Another round, though, in favor of Red Reserve.
Yeah, thanks to some early aggression from Joe, right? Such an unpredictable player. He just winds up charging right through the middle of the map, and no one from Splyce picks him up. I feel like you put that on Jerd maybe as a sniper rifle player. Sometimes that's your job, is to just watch the flank, look over towards that B-side lane, make sure nobody could get behind enemy lines, and Joe winds up playing spoiler. He gets that first blood on the Tommy, winds up being 1 shot. Even though he dips out, plays his life. Like the remaining members of Splyce, they all turned around, and now they're focused on the flank.
I think it's more the fact, you know, we were kind of looking maybe he could have got 2 or even more, but it was the fact he got 1 and stayed alive. It was the presence that he found himself after the kill that made the impact. 6-1, he's going for it. He's got the bomb in his hand. The plant would, of course, find himself in a very favorable position. Rated has been doing that for his squad, but right now, it doesn't matter. 60 seconds left on the clock. Looking for a pick still. He's going to be Red Reserve. And this, I feel, is very much a swing round in favor of Splyce. If they can get this round themselves, they can narrow that gap to just 1 round, though Red Reserve can make it 3. Oh, Joe takes a big hit there. That's going to be from the grenade backing off.
That's fine, though. I mean, that's why you're running armored, right? To protect yourself against those lethal grenades. Easy snipe there from Zero. First blood in the round. With 35 seconds remaining, unfortunately, this is going to mean that Red Reserve have to work a little bit quickly, and they're going to decide to rotate on over. Josh winds up taking some initial damage, but Joe's right there for the trade. He picks up the kill. That's going to be streaks for him. Plus, he's going to get this bomb down. Radiant is able to find the kill down low, shooting some bodies now as he takes down Mad Cat. It is all up to Jerd. A 1v3 situation for him. Less than 40 seconds remaining. He's been spotted, he's been tagged up, and he falls. Everything going in favor of Red Reserve. And this is what I was talking about coming to this series, Momo. If you're on Red Reserve, you want to have a short series here. 3-0, 3-1. That's going to be their key to success all weekend long. You don't want to see them extend these series.
Yeah, and I was saying, I don't think you're going to see another 3-0 here at Seattle like we did previously, but Red Reserve, they're making a case for it right now. The Hardpoint, it was convincing. This Search and Destroy is one-sided, to say the least. Red Reserve, they're looking good, and of course, they've got that secret weapon in their back pockets. Red Reserve and Joe will be the one to rain down fire. Of course, USS Texas, sometimes it's not the best for streaks. You can, of course, get in cover. We'll see how it works out. Jerd hanging back with a sniper. Doesn't look like anyone's pushing into that top cabin, so they should be safe for now. Joe, on the other hand, here we go. Let's see what they've got. The bomb's going down. I don't think we can spot him.
Okay.
Not going to find anything, but now this is the attack. The smoke is down. A little bit foggy on the ship right now, but Bance is cooking a grenade. That's going to land onto Josh. Josh is going to be taken down, in fact, by the sniper of Jerd. But with 30 seconds left, they need to get the defuse.
And you're always worried if you're defending the bomb here about that stretch defuse. It's up to Jerd to spot that information. Bomb's still on the ground, no one defusing. Nice shot there as he connects on the Zero. One more over near the bomb site. Rated now finds himself as the last one alive. Jerd does spot him. If he could pick up this kill, he'll have some decent progression over towards some streaks. Doesn't connect on the jump shot, but as he falls, it's going to be Splyce winning their second round. And keep in mind, Joe winds up using that glide bomb in that round. And whenever streaks are now in play in Search and Destroy, you feel a little hesitant to put on Mountain because everybody spawns in with a lethal as well as a tactical grenade. So if you wind up switching over to Mountain, one of the two are going to wind up hurting you in the round.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of a much-needed round, to say the least, for Splyce, but it was just the way and the fashion that they closed that one out. Red Reserve, though, they'll be looking to close it out sometimes. You know, when you obtain those streaks, you play a little bit differently. You play around the streaks, and it can hurt you. Every player's done it themselves. Will Red Reserve be able to overcome that little bit of a hurdle? 4-2 is the scoreline. If you just joined us, Jerd looking to try and get first blood. He's already found himself 1 out of the 6th round. We're here in round number 7, and Splyce, they're 2 behind.
I will say, on these offensive rounds, Red Reserve have used their smoke grenades really well, baiting out a lot of nades coming out of Splyce, and you know for a fact that they're counting. Okay, 1 lethal down, 2 lethal downs, and now you could kind of say, we can comfortably get this bomb down if you have armor because it's going to take 2 grenades to kill you. So still no kills made in round number 7. It's going to be the artillery barrage wind up called in, and off the back of that, we were just talking about that, Momo, playing off of streaks. They're going to wind up getting the objective down, but coming around the flank, it's going to be Bats. He finds one, makes it 2-0, doesn't get the snipe in time, but the bomb does get planted, so it's going to be up to Splyce to make a move. They know where Zero's located, and speaking of Zero, he's the last one alive. 1v3, sniper in his hands. This is the position you want him in, though.
Yeah, and look at this. It's almost the pinch, if you like, from Tommy and Jerd. Mad Cat's drawing him out, and Tommy's putting the pedal to the metal. He's finding him from behind. Jerd's going to take him down with the grenade, and that defuse is going to come in. They're going to hand it, of course, to Jerd, I believe, closest to those streaks. And I tell you what, that lead starting to dwindle here. Splyce crawling their way back into it.
Listen, whenever you're approaching any Search and Destroy match, you have to approach each round individually, round by round. That's how you come back from, you know, massive deficits, and that's how you build a lead in this game mode. So that's, I think, how Splyce are going to be approaching the rest of this game. And if you're on Red Reserve, you just got all that information. You know that Jerd is working towards streaks, so now you're talking to Zero. You're like, Zero, you got to find a way to outsnipe this guy. Take him off these streaks. Don't let him have a chance to call them in.
Okay, well, let's get back into the action here. Round number 8, as we're only 1 round between Splyce and Red Reserve. If you missed it, Red Reserve pretty much handed Splyce on Hardpoint, but the Search and Destroy started that same way. Splyce getting back into it. Now we're going to see the smoke grenade going down by Bance. Is he going to go for the plant? It looks like it. Joe has tagged him up. Josh is backing him up, but just through the smoke, I believe that was. Joe taking out his fellow ex-teammate in Bance.
Well, yeah, they tried to cheat the plan a little bit, planning for inside the smoke to give their sniper Jerd a bit of a better angle into that bomb, and it winds up costing them. The grenade gets the hit marker on the planner, and then you just spraying through the smoke. Easy kill for Joe, as I believe he still has a fighter pilot left to play with in these later rounds. Yes, he does. And now he's playing for information along the bomb. Oh, the missed dive from Tommy. Joe picks up the kill. Zero's looking over him. Jerd falls. Keep in mind that means no streaks for Jerd. Now it's all up to Mad Cat. A 1v4 for him. 40 seconds remaining, and Zero knows exactly what's up. Gets the information. Has a teammate right above Mad Cat that could just jump right down for the trade. You see it through the point of view. Joe winds up picking up that kill. Red Reserve are just straight cruising now, Momo.
Yeah, that's a beautiful round from Red Reserve, but again, there is faults in Splyce's play there. The misdive from, I believe it was Tommy. The cheeky play that he was trying to do with the smoke and plant didn't work out, but of course, you've got to take those risks sometimes and search and destroy. Red Reserve now find themselves another round on the board. You can see the tactics being talked about. Joe kind of commanded through, telling him what was going on maybe, or
maybe they're playing around that fighter pilot.
Yeah, I mean, he's the one with that in his back pocket. He can end this game right now.
10-3 for Joe. Had a big impact early on in that first Hardpoint match, and he's carrying it through here in the search and destroy. Jerd, the man of the hour for Splyce, the only one positive in this search and destroy. He's had the biggest impact. Early grenade hit marker will connect as both teams fighting for control of the map. Vance will get first blood as he takes down Joe. So that means later in the round, no fighter pilot available for Red Reserve.
Might not even need it, but to do that, they've got to come up with a 3v4. Now it's a 3v3. Josh catching out Tommy with 60 seconds left. The bomb in the hands of Raided. But on your screen, Josh on the flank. This is beautiful from him. He's going to find Mad Cat. That's going to be now a 3v2. Really changing this round. And the problem is right now, Josh is behind enemy line. Splyce can't just sit in the open. We're going to see things go down again. All up to Jerd to stay in the game. A 1v2. He's got the sniper in hand. He's looked the wrong way. Red Reserve, they're going to clean that one up. It's going to be fist bumps all around in the Red Reserve camp here. And it's 2-0. Joe's fighter pilot, it wasn't even needed here. But another clinical map for Red Reserve. This time last event, they got 3-0 swept. Not today, Revan.
Yeah, this is why we say it's their best search and destroy map. They had a great approach and a great game plan going into USS Texas. I thought they utilized their smoke grenades really well on the offensive side. Maybe got a little bit scary towards the mid game as Splyce start to chain some rounds back to back off of the back of Jerd, but it's really Joe, the man that we got to talk about on the side of Reserve. He's had such a big impact. Okay, well, Red Reserve 2-0 in the lead. Flag Tower CTF coming up next, guys. Take a break.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Call of Duty World League Seattle Open, presented by PlayStation 4. We're back, boys. We're 2 maps in to the battle for Britain between Splyce and Red Reserve. And Red are walking this one home, Chance.
It's kind of brutal, right? That's what we saw last time they played, but obviously on the flip side, where Splyce just kind of had a cakewalk 3-0 sort of thing, but a lot of Call of Duty left to be played. CTF could be that swing map. I mean, what was it, Splyce? They were setting themselves up for a long series. That game number 5, that same Research and Destroy, that was Splyce's pick, so they're expecting it to go to the distance. They still have 2 more maps to win to make that happen, though.
2 more maps to go, and they can do it if they want. I mean, this would be an interesting start for Red. They're a team that are very, very comfortable there in the lower bracket, but here's a chance to put themselves up 1 more and get out into the champ bracket for the first time in a while. Momo, is that a possibility for them in Red? Do you think they can do it?
Most definitely. I think this pool is very open. Any team can place first or even 4th with the open bracket team coming in. But Red Reserve and Splyce, this game, you know, you come in and you close it out, especially if you do it in 3. It gives you all the confidence in the world. And I think whoever takes this can very easily take first in their pool. There
you go. Revin, what do you think about this one? Do you think Splyce got a chance to bounce back here?
I don't know, man. I'm not too sure. Everybody on Red Reserves, they seem to be firing on all cylinders right now. You talked about it being a battle for London. It's not much of a battle right now.
It's not indeed. Well, here's lower third. Playing the OBJOOE is Joe. Joe is the only player to average more than 1 flag grab per game. That's amazing. Joe's doing the heavy work there for his boys. Either way, enough of our rambling. Let's hand it over to our casters, Momo and Revin.
Once again, thank you very much, Miles. And let's get back into the action. CTF on Flag Tower. Red Reserve just 1 map away from the clean sweep here, but Splyce kicking things off with a couple of kills and putting the pressure on. Zero having to back down. But again, Revin kind of kicking things off with this CTF. Splyce, they've got to kind of go into this with a little bit of a different mental state. They just seem to have been kind of wiped out. You know, in map 1 and map 2, it did seem a little one-sided. Hopefully they regain.
Yeah, this is why, as a competitor, it's nice to have some short-term memory problems, right? Just forget about those first 2 maps that happened, bounce back, and just like that Search and Destroy, take it 1 map, 1 round at a time. This is a great offensive push for Red Reserve. They had 3 down on side of Splyce. Zero's going to get a touch on flag. Knows that there's 1 more player to get past. It's going to be Madcat. He picks up the kill, gets the return, and now Splyce are going to put in some aggression of their own. As you start to see some players rotate back to their base, you see Bance, number 3 on your minimap, start to overextend. He could make a play over towards the Red Reserve flag, assuming that his teammates pick up these defensive kills.
Yeah, it's almost a 3v3 at one end and a 1v1 at the other. However, Tommy picking up the double. He's going to put the pressure on, and now Zero is the player that needs to go clutch. Currently sat at 1-on-1. He's going to go down to Bance, and now the flag may be pulled, but Josh is going to spawn in. He's going to find that kill, and that should be all safe. With 3.5 minutes left on the clock, we're going to reset things here as Red Reserve, they're going to have to defend just a little while.
Yeah, you feel like Bance is just dead in the water no matter what happened there, as Red Reserve got a split spawn on either end of their base. But as it stands right now, Red Reserve more on the defensive side of things. That's his Splyce putting on some aggression. Jerd with the beatdown onto Zero. It's off to Josh here, and that's a clean 4 down on the side of Red Reserve. This is going to be a flag cap for Splyce. They're going to strike first, and this is exactly how they need to come back in this series.
Beautiful stuff from Splyce. They defend well, and they attack even better here. Oh, bit of a misplay from Jerd, but it doesn't matter. Jerd will be working towards those streaks now, but on the other side of the map, Madcat and Bance have found 3 between them, only Rated left alive. He finds himself in a must-win position. He does pick up the kill, but again, Madcat's looking to jump on that as quick as he goes down. It's trade after trade. Bance is going to find himself into the middle, and you know what? A 1v1 could separate them from a 2-0 lead.
And he knows that his teammate Jerd is over near the wood side of the map, so he's just going to cut it through the mid. He knows that the players on Red Reserve are going to be spawning towards the gun side. Josh finds the kill. Joe is there to follow it up as well, so it's 3 down for Splyce. Red Reserve will get the return thanks to Josh, as now he's trying to put some aggression over towards the electric side of the room. He's going to find one. That's Madcat, but he just wants to stay alive here. I don't want to see him re-challenge that, because look at where his teammates are set up. Over towards the middle of the map, then one was back towards his flag coming off respawn. He had to stay alive, wait for his teammates to get near him close enough to at least make the trade happen.
And we've seen when 2 top teams go head-to-head on a map like Flag Tower CTF, it can be, you know, 0-0 for 8-9 minutes. This has got a flag in it already. Does Splyce kind of play this, you know, defensive setup, or will Red Reserve come and take full advantage of that? It looks like they're trying to get a flag of their own before the half. Joe, with it in his hands, he's going to lose the battle here and Rated all alone. He might find 1, could have found 2, but that's all he's going to find as that flag is going to be opted to be returned from Bance as he's working towards those streaks as well. Interesting, I'm looking at number 7, who snuck right through. Finds Tommy.
Yeah, so as he picks up that kill, let's see what the remaining players for Splyce decide to do. Okay, they're going to wrap back around, so Zero has to find these kills, picks up the flag, and he's just trying to delay, right? His teammate's coming off respawn, trying to find room for them to push up on the map, but Nobody's able to support Zero. They all die. And then Jared winds up pushing through the map. Unfortunately, can't win that fight against Joe. And what's the difference for Splyce in this map? You might be asking. For me, it's all bans. 10 and 4 on a 2-speed right now. In the previous maps, especially on that first hardpoint, he just wasn't having a big impact. His presence was not felt on this map. This time around in the CTF, he's starting to have a bigger impact. But as I say that, all 4 go down for Splyce. It's going to be a clean flag out for Red Reserve. And what you could do off the back of these clean 4 downs is just maintain map control, right? That's the most important thing. The 3 remaining players for Red Reserve are just trying to continue to put on pressure over towards the Splyce spawns. There's the flag cap coming in for Rated. He's got a good progression towards some score streaks.
Talk about a big impact. That 4 down was huge for Red Reserve. And now Josh, last alive. So again, we talk about, whether he needs to make these kills or make these peaks right now. He's going to trade things out here as Madcap will take him down. But Red Reserve tie things up with 30 seconds left. Are we going to see Joe go for a sneaky play? We've seen him do this on the likes of Ardent Forest many, many times. He's going to find one, jump out, traded out by Bance, and this time we're going to see things reset.
I feel like whenever you're playing against a guy like Joe, you can almost just like run backwards on the map because you're always going to be expecting him to flank. So which way is really the right one to look at? But Rated continuing to try to work towards these streaks. He gets shut down by Madcat. Splyce with 9 seconds remaining. They're trying to get a touch on this flag just to force some extra stoppage time. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. So going into the half, both teams are going to be tied up 1 flag apiece. Okay,
well, we're going to flip those sides. Got another 5 minutes to put on that timer. We'll be jumping right back into it very, very soon here. Splyce and Red Reserve, what have you found so far? Obviously, Revan from this CTF. What are the things that you're looking out for maybe in the second half of, well, anyone jumping out at you?
I mean, on the side of Splyce, they had a really strong start, right? They were able to establish map control early on. And like I was talking about a bit earlier, Bance is now starting to find his rhythm in this series. As he starts to get more warmed up and have a bigger impact, I feel like it's going to make it easier for Splyce to win some games. But Red Reserve, they're just cruising. As they got that flag cap to tie it up, really nobody's sticking out on that side. Maybe Rated as he got that 1 flag cap, but he needs to step up with the slang. I think you're going to be looking at Joe. Joe's usually that SMG playmaker for this Red Reserve lineup. If he could just find some avenues to sneak through and find his way behind enemy lines, one of being that 2-3 kills he might get could change the pace of the game. Okay, well, we're into the second side here, and we've kicked it off like we did the first. A couple of kills for Splyce. Bance waiting, almost luring them out, trying to find those kills. Of course, those first and second waves also very important. STG now in the hands of Madcap as he backs off. 15 and 7 for him. Obviously, the kills may be a little bit easier in his positioning of what he puts himself in, but 1 player pushing forward. It's going to be Jerd. Maybe finds the second. He was weak, but Josh denies that push, and now Madcap going to be pushing forward for himself. The historic people of Call of Duty will know Josh and Madcap used to be teammates for so long. Now they're on the other side of the stage. Only one can win here. As Bance takes down 1, the pressure is on. Kills in the right place, kills in the enemy base. He's going to find the 3, and that is going to be 4 down for a very brief moment. Josh, the first alive. Wow, I tell you what, it's looking like a Splyce flag. Let's jump into an Astro Gaming listening.
No. Go.
Too late to do that.
I have hole left. Could be
I'm 550, I'm 550.
Right, bench, play
Low
the
left
streaks.
open, low left
No,
open.
I'm on the outskirts. I'll go bottom mid, Ben. I'll go low left, I'm going low left.
You could be close on your
Joe,
back.
low left, Joe.
Flagging him.
Pre-firing.
I'm on the... He's hitting you.
He's already Trey is
Back
the
five,
out.
dead mid.
Trey.
Look for 2. Behind me, green. That's him. He's pushing.
Nice 2, man.
Go.
Just
One's off spawn.
I'm cut it.
Let's come back our base.
Play for kills.
Back base. I'm picking up outskirts.
We're on mid, going on top ladder.
Our ender's open.
We're looking for one on the right.
One outside the mid, Josh is outside the mid.
Outskirts dead.
One's in our mid.
Left. Josh.
Could be on you, Jard.
Stun checking in green. Josh mid. One shot mid. He's pushing.
I'm right
Let's
back.
go back our base.
got it,
Back
yeah.
our base.
Can you get it though?
Yeah, I'll try to grab him.
You sure he pushed?
I have the left.
Hold it right,
He's
hold
still
it
inside. One's inside our mid.
It's Josh.
Guys, see it on the right.
I have the left still.
Move out there.
One's out. Wood, pallets. He's out wood.
Stun out mid.
Do
I
you
got mid. I check mid. Just juggle peeking.
Was on the right.
Right, they're all going to be pushing me. There's nobody on this left.
Should be good for fly.
That's it, right.
Josh weak.
We'll just nail it right.
Can we start playing left? No,
Yeah,
Josh,
I've been nailing right. I've been nailing right.
I'm coming right, I'm going right.
Right.
Sneaking, Trey sneaking, he's gone bottom left.
Nice
He's
shit,
going
man.
left, back. Underneath you.
Nice,
Last
nice.
guy spawn. Last guy on spawn. Josh is up now.
I'm going
Only Josh. Right, you got all up in a second. They're all up now. Trey's just spawned. I'm on the right with you high here. Wait, I should be at the back. I'm at the back.
I'm waiting for Ben, I'm waiting for Ben.
Alright, Ben, get it.
Go left.
Wait, I'm
Try and make kill, try and make
playing
kill.
with. No, just everyone wait.
Mark that mid, mark that
Based on
mid.
you, back base.
Yeah, Reese. He's gone there
They're
mid.
shotgun, they're shotgun dead.
Reese there mid.
Tracer low gun, Tracer low gun.
What's our flag? We go.
Go
Tracer low gun, they're low gun.
Pull it, I'll get it.
Raymond.
We're going mid, let's go.
He's already gone low. One's a top gun, I'm trying to get flag. Flag weak, one's a top gun and then over out.
Weak chasing, he's at their mid, he's not close. One's hitting their mid now, they're mid, he's gonna be close.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Good to go.
He's weak their mid.
Really weak. One to
Pushing
wood
left.
box, one wood box. He's got
Our
it.
top gun. I'm getting top gun. Low guns open.
Low,
There's
Reese,
I've got
Reese.
me
He's low left.
two here.
I'm right open.
I can get right.
There's two on left,
Tom, do you want to get right? Yeah, I'll get right. Alright, I'm gonna go play left.
I've got a mid.
Fucking climbed up accident. Weak top gun.
There, do.
He's that low gun now, Josh.
Low.
Two. Needs help left.
One
Push
shot.
it, push
Push
that.
Nice.
One shot,
Close.
Close pull left.
Oh man. You need to go.
One.
One more on our base.
Comes towards me, he's gone outskirt. He's gone out. Gen.
Let's go.
Yeah, right, we have to counter this.
They not only get the flag, but Raided's on for a relay with 60 seconds left to go. Red Reserve looking to put the nail in the coffin here, Revan. 4-2 is potentially the scoreline. Will Raided put it in? The dive does go down, but the flag not put in for a second there. The return goes down, and Splyce, they're going to be able to get a counter cap here unless it can be stopped.
That's really been the story of this game so far. Usually it's Splyce who get the first flag cap, and then Red Reserve respond by getting another to tie it back up. And this time around, it's going to be Splyce. Tommy with the flag in his hand. Joe trying to make something happen as he's over towards the Splyce base. Everybody backing up. He picks up the kill.
Oh my God!
The escort isn't there. Jerd winds up finding two, and Zero finds the kill on Bance at his base with 20 seconds remaining. Joe makes a heroic play for Red Reserve, and this could propel them to a 3-0 victory over Splyce.
You were looking at Tommy to make just a simple play. He goes for maybe a little bit of a bamboozle. It doesn't work out for him now. Red Reserve, they stick at their base. They play defense, and Tommy trying to put this two in the ground. They've got to grab it. They have to go now. One play's pushing. He grabs it. A second, he just needs to return the flag, and that is going to be it. Red Reserve take it in a 3-0 sweep. And we're going to see Splyce, unfortunately for themselves,